Absolute Radio is where you can hear Prince, Mumford and Sons,
I will wait for you,
and The Killers.
Can you read my mind?
Absolute Radio
Where real music matters.
Absolute Radio
is
the home of rock and roll football. Barclays Premier League football commentary every Saturday afternoon.
Yes, line one, what do you want?
Hello, is the Smash competition on yet?
No, the Smash competition is not on yet.
When's it on?
Later.
Alright, cheers, mate.
There we go, yes.
Iain Lee.
Absolute Radio.
What was that young chap calling in about? I'll tell you. We're giving away a pair of tickets to see S. Mouse, a.k.a. Chris Lilly, Wednesday, the 7th September at the O2 Islington. I'm riding the fader. I'm loving riding the fader. It's like this. We're going to give them away later on. I don't think I've got the S. Mouse CD with me, because that was going to be the competition. I mean, let's just check the bag of fun, shall we?
Do it off of YouTube.
No. I have. When you hear us playing a little bit of Slap My Elbow by S. Mouse, 0330 123 1215 is the phone number to call in. First person to call that number. No, let's establish this, because I hate doing competitions, because I always do them wrong, and we always get close to getting an Ofcom or a huge fine. When you hear Slap My Elbow by S. Mouse, 0330 123 1215 will be the phone number. I will have cleared the switchboards. Line 6. Line 6. If line 6, you win the tickets. You have to be over 18.
I was just going to say, will it be subtle, or will it be out there, or will it be a surprise? There we are, a surprise.
It's going to be a
So
surprise.
listen out closely.
It's going to be a surprise. It might just be in the background, or it might, So you've got to be over 18. It's only a pair of tickets. And I have to say this, you're not guaranteed entry.
Yes, because it's very, very busy, and it's
Very oversubscribed. So,
although there are tickets,
yeah.
You have to get there very early.
That's what I thought as well when I heard that, but we're going to do the competition anyway. So it's going to be an amazing gig. If you can get in there, it's going to be amazing. You're not guaranteed to get in, even though you will have a pair of tickets, because it's been completely oversubscribed. If you don't get in, we'll sort something else out for you anyway. So you'll get something, but yes, you'll get the tickets, but you may not get in.
Yeah.
What kind of gig
It's the
is
same
that?
with all the tickets of theirs.
Yes, don't worry,
So
it's
it's not
everybody.
just our special one.
Yes.
Everyone.
Let's take these calls to air, and then I'm going to tell you about life. Line 1, what do you want?
Ian, I just want to say thanks for Friday. It was absolutely super fantastic.
Who are you on at the Royal Festival Hall?
Yeah.
Oh, this was me, dear listener, going up again. Not only have I been on 5 Live, not only am I going to be on Sky News next week, I'm the new John Gaunt, but less pompous and less rubbish. But on Friday, I hosted the London Philharmonic Orchestra at the Royal Festival Hall. I was wearing a dicky bow and everything.
Oh, you look cool, mate.
I look all right. It's a nice suit, isn't it?
Yeah, I mean, I didn't... Because I'm not really a real gamer, I didn't really understand a lot of the jokes. I think I was the only one.
Oh.
The music was superb.
Wasn't it incredible?
It was unbelievable. I loved the London
The thing
Philharmonic.
is, I heard all the music off the stage through the door, so it was really muffled for me, but what I gather, people really enjoyed it.
Oh, it was brilliant, mate. Thanks. I really, really enjoyed it. I really, really appreciate that, Ian.
Absolute pleasure, mate. Take care. Ta-ta. Let's go to line 2. Yes, line 2. What do you want?
Oh, hello. I'm quite new to the show.
OK. But can I just say, we are getting... Now that Ian Collins has left Talk Sport, we are going to be inundated with brand new listeners. Welcome to the show. This is how radio... This is the show Ian Collins always dreamed of doing.
Well, my first question was, your friend, Vinny...
Yes?
Is that a man or a woman?
It's one of life mysteries. First of all, I have to stop you for legal reasons. He's not a friend. He's a caller. Man or woman, I have seen no genitals, so I couldn't tell you.
You say he, but then sometimes you say she.
I think she's a she.
So he's a she.
She's definitely got breasts.
It's a she.
Yeah. Why not?
Oh, okay. Oh, fair enough.
Anything else?
Yeah, can I have them tickets?
No, you can't. Oh, I've knackered. There's something going on with this blooming phone box system that we use here. I don't know. So, we are getting a lot of new listeners this evening because Iain Collins, who's a legend, has been on TalkSport for 15 years, has stopped. He's stopped. He's disappeared from radio. Hello, dear listener. Nice to have you on board. 0330 123 1215 is the telephone number if you want to give us a call. Regulars, could you help the new people? Someone's asked me on Twitter if we can describe the show in one word. Yeah, I know. Mediocre? Acceptable? 0330 1... How would you describe the show in one word, Eloise? Oh. Is that your word? Was that it?
No.
Okay.
It's very difficult.
It is difficult. At this point, dull. Silent. Have a think about it.
I will.
0330 123 1215 is the telephone number if you want to give us a call. Mentioning Chris Lilly, which brought me on in my head to the subject of Christopher Lilly Crap. Do you remember Christopher Lilly Crap? I don't do... Hey, man... Remember old kids' programmes and wagon wheels? And I don't do any of that rubbish. Don't worry, we won't be going down that Collins line. But Chris Lillicrap was a kids' TV presenter with the most unfortunate name in the world. Chris Lillicrap. Even as a young child, I remember thinking, there's something weird about this. That's not quite right. 0330 123 1215. I don't want to spend too long on that because that whole 70s kids' TV thing isn't really my bag, but... it did kind of vaguely intrigue me. But the thing I wanted to ask you this evening, and I can't believe there is anybody out there that would disagree with this, because when I flew back from Zakynthos the other week, all sat on the plane, and it was all rather jolly, and I was separated from the person I was travelling with, who has sawn a human head in half with a saw. Wow. And we're on the plane, and we're waiting for it to kind of take off. And then the voice came over the intercom saying, hello, this is the captain, and we'll be flying, and we'll be leaving at this time, and we're on schedule, and all of that. It was a lady captain. Yeah. Now, I know that in this day and age, equality, equal rights, women's lib, burn your bras, don't. But part of me thought, you're joking, aren't you? A lady captain of an aeroplane. Now, I'll tell you why this is wrong, and I'm not a sexist at all, but why this is wrong on so many levels, right? First of all, women, and this is a fact, have different spatial awareness to men. Okay, they've got different spatial awareness. Now, when you're driving a car, that's fine, because the only directions you've got, forwards, backwards, left and right, and a few variations on that. Okay. When you're flying an aeroplane, spatially, you're in three dimensions. Forwards, backwards if you're kind of on the ground, left and right, up and down. So it's a completely different spatial situation that the female brain is not equipped to cope with. That's not me being sexist. That's scientific fact. You can go and look that up. It's fact. 0330 123 1215. You know I'm right on this one. Also, you turn a car. Cars these days have got power steering. If you go and drive an old car that hasn't got power steering, man, it is a bugger to turn. It is a nightmare to turn. Cars these days, easy. You just a little bit. My little boy could turn the steering wheel of the car. Aeroplanes do not have power steering, and they weigh a ton. Right? They weigh an incredible amount. They are much heavier. And if there's a storm, and that aeroplane is flying through the storm, so you're being Jimmy Buffetted around, up, down, left, right, you're trying to keep it on a straight line. I'm sorry, but women are not strong enough to cope with that pressure. Again, I'm not being sexist, it's a fact. It's like women shouldn't be builders because women haven't got the strength to climb up ladders all day carrying hods full of bricks. It's just a fact. It's not safe. It's not safe for them or for anybody else in the environment. Having a lady fly a plane is not safe for them or anybody on the plane. And also, supposing it was a really strong butch woman, which you do get sometimes, I've seen them. Even if they could cope with flying the plane, the stress and the pressure, it doesn't make the passengers feel very comfortable. The passengers are instantly tensed up. So they're going to have a miserable, uncomfortable flight. And don't get me started about women flying their airplanes when they're on their periods. Jesus. 0330 123 1215. I don't want to argue about this. You know I'm right. You know I'm right. Women should not be builders, and women should not fly aeroplanes. 0330 123 1215. It's just basic health and safety. We're also waiting to see if 19-year-old politics student Thomas Hobbs gets in touch, as he sent me some very angry... Did you see the emails from Thomas Hobbs?
That massive long one.
There were a couple about me calling 15-year-old girls slags.
Oh, yes. Yeah, I did see that.
Which I didn't do.
Oh, I emailed him too. I said call in then.
Yeah, he said he's going to call in this week, so hopefully... We won't read out what he said unless he calls in, because I don't want to give him too much publicity. But very angry young man. Politics students always are very angry. And they think that they are more intelligent than people, and than other people. They think they have a better understanding of how the world works, and they think they are better at arguing than civilians.
Yeah.
And they're not at all. They're not at all. They've really got... I would say... Yeah, I'd say this. I would suggest that politics students have less understanding of the world around them than artists.
Because they're closed-minded.
Because they're closed-minded. Listen, you don't realise this as young people. It all comes from art. You can get everything you need from art. That's it. You don't need politics students, for goodness sakes. What's he going to do? Also, what are you going to do with your life as a politics student? Where is that going to take you? I did a performing arts degree, and look where it's taken me. I'm a social commentator. I was on 5 Live. I'm on Sky News next Saturday night on the eve of September the 11th. That is a big That is genuinely a big responsibility. I'm on this.
Yeah.
I'm a social commentator. I study performing arts. Politics. Listen, if you study politics, can you give me a call and let me know where you are in your life now? It won't be as good as where I am.
Here is the pinnacle.
Here is the pinnacle. It's all downhill from here. Brian!
Good evening.
Hello, Brian.
How are you, Ian?
Are you on a speakerphone?
No.
Are you on a hands-free?
Wait a second. My radio was still switched on. Is that better?
Not really, but I'll do a little bit of magic here and you should be okay. Now, what can I do for you, Brian?
It was your comment about women pilots.
You're so on hands-free, aren't you?
No, honestly, I'm not.
Is your mouth near the phone, then? Physically near the phone?
It is right next to it, yes.
I think it's echoey room.
Brian, may I suggest you put, next time, we'll carry on this conversation, but before you call us again, if you could put some empty egg boxes on the walls of the room or thick carpet to muffle the sound.
Right, is this any better?
What are you doing?
I've just walked into the hall.
That's much better, thank you.
Oh, no bother. I was in the kitchen, so,
Never call us from the kitchen, Brian, that's a basic. I thought I issued the warning at the start of the show. My apology if I did not.
You did not, Ian.
I apologise, sir.
I accept your apology.
Thank you, sir!
Right.
Go on.
Your comments about women...
Yep.
Flying aeroplanes.
They shouldn't be allowed to fly aeroplanes or work on building sites, yes.
Oh... I just said to your young co-presenter there, is that Eloise,
whoa. She's my producer, although technically she's not listed as a producer, she's a studio assistant, so I'm actually doing her a favour by calling her producer. Do not take it one step further and call her my co-presenter? What do you think? I don't need a co-presenter.
Okay, Ian, I apologise.
My studio assistant, but we'll call her a producer because we're feeling generous. She's basically a phone-op.
Okay, your telephone
You snigger like a boy.
Of course, I'm a boy.
Yeah, about 62. Anyway, Yes.
Your comment about women
Yes.
flying aeroplanes.
Yep. It's a travesty.
It is not.
Okay.
Women have been flying aeroplanes for years.
I know they have. Doesn't mean it's right. People have been murdering people for years. Doesn't mean it's right.
Look at Amy Johnston.
Well, I can't. She's dead.
Amelia Earhart.
Well, yeah, okay. But planes, okay, well done. They were a freak show. They were a freak show. Doesn't mean we have to carry on with commercial. Those planes, they were made of balsa wood back in those days.
And they were brave enough to fly them.
It's not about bravery. Women can be very, very brave. I didn't say women weren't brave. Foolhardy, possibly. But
Well,
no,
yeah.
they were amazing women. But women should not be flying jumbo jets.
Remember, as I said to your telephonist.
The receptionist. Let's call Eloise the receptionist.
No, don't you dare call
Hello,
that.
Iain Lee Show. How can I help you?
I do say that.
Yeah, and she's got a sexy voice as well.
She's got
Anyway,
a very sexy voice.
I'm getting new specs.
Oh, are you?
Yeah.
You don't let people see you in specs.
I'm going to now because I'm buying new ones.
I'm looking. When might we see those?
Well, I'm ordering them on Friday. Going to have my fit in, and then I guess a week after that.
Can we take a picture of your specs and tweet them?
Yep.
Not your face, just your specs.
Yeah, no
Okay.
one sees my face.
Can I try
Until
your-
I shoot.
Can I try your glasses on?
Could you send me a picture of him as well, please?
Just the glasses will be in public domain.
Yeah. I'm not going to send a picture to just like individual people. You have to follow me on Twitter, Brian. You muppet.
You can try them on only if I
I'm
know
not
that
on
they will fit
Twitter
your head
yet.
and you won't break them.
I will
in
not
the
break.
First week of me
I'm not
having
going to
them.
break your glasses. I've got a very thin head. Your head's bigger than mine.
Is it though?
Brian.
Yes.
What do you want?
I just told you, women are actually quite good at some things.
Brian, thanks very much for calling. Listen, I'm not disagreeing with that. Women are actually quite good at some things. This isn't a big sexist rant. Don't get me wrong, okay? I'm not, oh, women, you should be in the kitchen. Oh, women, you should be looking after your men and giving them... No, I'm not saying that at all. All I'm saying is, and it's very, very simple, and if you just take away the emotion for a moment and think about it, women should not work on building sites. Don't quite know how I got onto that, but it's true. And they should not fly aeroplanes. It's a fact. 0330 123 1215. Let's go to, speaking of women, it's Verinda. He's listening to Noel Gallagher on Talk Sport. Yeah, Vinny?
Oh, yeah, sorry, hello.
Could you turn off Talk Sport, please?
Yeah.
Could you turn off the sports bar with Andy Goldstein?
Yeah.
Thank you very much, Verinda. What can we do for you this evening?
It's 24-hour sport now.
Can I ask you, is Talk Sport giving away a pair of tickets to see S. Mouse this evening? I don't think so. This is exclusive to Absolute Radio.
Okay, all right then.
So, thank you, yes.
Yeah, so...
You had your wallet, Nick, did you?
Yeah,
Well,
someone nicked my wallet.
Hopefully. What was in your wallet? An unused condom, £5, and a picture, a picture of...
myself.
Yourself, exactly. Naked.
Yeah.
So, hopefully some good will come of it.
At least you don't need money to see the penises next Monday.
Yeah, because don't forget we're seeing the penises on Monday. That'll cheer you up.
Yes.
I've been asked, by the way, to film Vinny's face at the start of the show. So we'll take the flip and just film him, have a camera on his face at the start of the show. Yes?
I think I might bottle it.
You can't bottle it.
You can't.
You can't.
That's one of your dreams. Az is coming to sit in on the studio.
And we're going to find a prostitute for you.
And it's all happening on that one night.
We're finding a prostitute.
And I'm having a date.
You're having a date with Eloise that she's going to pay for.
Okay.
So all of these things are happening.
I've got you tickets and you can't back out because I'll look like a right idiot to those PR people.
What you can do is give it away on the show.
No,
not allowed. I'm not allowed.
Yeah. It's in your name.
Oh, okay. All right then.
Listen to him breathing heavily now.
I will never go to Pizza Express with you if you don't come.
Are you going to Pizza Express with him?
No, I remember he asked me ages ago to take me to Pizza Express.
Okay. That's not the date then.
No.
Okay.
I was going to do it in here, wasn't I?
Yeah. Oh, then you're coming on the show afterwards. That's another thing that you've got. I'm driving in especially so that you've got my cab home.
All right then, okay, all right.
You don't make it sound like we're kind of... This is going to be an amazing opportunity
These
for
are
you to see two penises on stage.
Honestly, if penises freak me out. I don't know if you watched that Channel 4 program.
Queer as Folk.
No. That Dr.
Dr. Christian. Sexy bodies. People's sexy bodies.
Yeah. Despite being 8 o'clock, they still show a lot of penises.
They show a lot of penises. But I tell you what I find more upsetting than the penises are the deformed labias. I don't know if I can say that word on the radio, but I find that
scientific.
It's Latin. Have they used, Eloise, have they used my quote, do you think, on the posters?
Oh, they have. Yeah, they have.
Have they?
Yeah.
Oh, man, I've never had a quote on a poster before.
Yours is the headlining quote.
Oh, man! Vinny,
I forwarded you the photo of it.
No, I've not seen that.
Oh,
to my Gmail account?
Yeah, it was on hers, and when I said, look, we'll do anything for us, that's what they've got everywhere.
Oh, I'll have a little look. Vinny, I might have a quote on a poster.
Well done.
And is the C word in there?
Yeah, everything.
Wow, really?
Censor it.
Oh, that's...
As in the C word, proper C word.
No, as in the second C word.
Okay.
No, you've sent me a list of load of crap people that want to come and be on the show, but no, I don't think...
it was ages ago.
Oh, can you send me... But before I wrote the quote?
No, after you wrote the quote, obviously.
I didn't get that.
You did, because you replied to it, because I said, they'll let you have loads of people because they were well happy with the quote.
When?
And attached to the bottom is your thing.
I've got Anthony Daniels.
Why don't you try searching the PR lady, which I'll tell you in a second.
Yeah, type that in.
What do you mean, type that in?
Oh, I know. Put my mic down, I'll do it in your...
Okay. Hang on, say that, Vinny. She's whispering in my ear. Yeah. I can't hear you. All I can hear is this go, but I can't hear your voice. Sean? Are you saying Sean? Charlotte? You might say Charlotte.
Charlotte.
Okay, okay, right. Let's have a little...
Did she say something naughty?
I can't hear you when you do that.
I'll try this one.
Well, no, because I've got your mic up. So... Right. Right.
But yeah, after the longer version of that.
Justin Morehouse.
No.
Hope you're well. I know that's the puppetry of the penis people.
Yeah.
No, but that's from the 5th of July. No, there isn't.
Oh.
You haven't sent it to me.
I definitely did.
Oh, here it is. Oh, yeah, look, they do. That's brilliant. Oh, brilliant. Not since the Chuckle Brothers have been so entertaining. That's a great quote, isn't it?
It is a good quote. Look at all the rubbish ones below it.
Nothing short of astounding, charming, extraordinary.
Charming is not a word I would attribute to that.
Oh, I'm really, really chuffed. That's the best thing that's ever happened to me.
Even more than you having a baby.
I just said that, Vinny.
Even more than me having a baby, yeah.
Okay.
Even more than talking to Vinny.
They've said... I didn't read that. I didn't scroll down, because I just saw your bit that we could have as many tickets as we wanted. My mum really wants to go. I was telling her about it today, and she's like, "Oh, that sounds brilliant."
I think my mum would want to go.
Yeah, why are you getting a boner over this?
Well, you need one, I hear.
Yeah, they check you. They frisk you when you go in.
Okay.
The thing is, Vinny, no, and seriously, I know we're having a laugh and stuff. It'll be a fun night. One thing, you know that when you go into the reception, you have to take your trousers off. You can keep your pants on, so just make sure you're wearing nice pants.
All right then.
Okay.
Why do you have to take them off for?
And good socks.
And good socks. Easy access.
Will you be taking them off?
My trousers? Yeah, of course I will.
They don't make girls because we don't have penises.
It's only the blokes, Vinny.
Oh, I see.
Okay. So...
Yeah.
they ask everyone to join in. Bit of karaoke.
Okay. So what the hell are you talking about tonight?
But if anyone that wants to come, Puppetry of the Penis, Leicester Square Theatre, isn't it? It's Monday. We're talking tonight, Vinny. We're going to give away some tickets to Chris Lilly.
Uh-huh.
We are saying that women shouldn't fly aeroplanes or work on building sites.
I've got another one.
Oh, okay, go on.
There shouldn't be bouncers. Women bouncers.
You're wrong.
Why?
Because I think the feminine, what's the word I'm looking for? The feminine presence could calm down a potentially violent situation.
Yeah.
And if that doesn't work, they can flash a bit of boob. Either way, they are in a better position to calm down and stop violence. If there's two big blokes, right, that look like gorilla, huge as gorillas, got shaved heads, pierced noses, that is asking for a situation to kick off.
I see. Okay, well, what about...
Can I stop you here, Vinny?
Yeah.
Not one of your best calls. If I'm being honest.
Pretend you're drunk and do some of that.
I can't be bothered.
Thanks for calling.
All right then, bye.
That was very, very poor, even by his very, very poor standards.
Tired.
Breakfast Show with RAC, the driving people.
Absolute Radio.
Iain Lee on Absolute Radio.
Keep listening. We will be giving away a pair of tickets to see Chris Lilly on Wednesday night. When you hear S Mouse, 0330 123 1215, line 6 will win it. Women shouldn't be allowed to fly aeroplanes. They shouldn't work on building sites. What happened to Christopher Lillicrap? And describe the show in one word if you can. Brian!
Hello.
Hello, Brian.
Hello there. I don't believe if they should be firefighters neither.
Why do you say that?
Well, if another firefighter got in any trouble, would they be strong enough to pull them out? Obviously, if they're wearing the breathing apparatus and stuff like that. And I know you're also saying about builders, and there most certainly aren't any women scaffolders.
No.
I've never seen any.
No. Well, they physically can't cope with the job, and that's not sexism. That's fine.
No.
I listen. I do think that there should be female firefighters, although we should call them firemen because that's what they are. I don't like this firefighters nonsense. They're firemen, but maybe they shouldn't be. They shouldn't be going into the burning buildings. Perhaps they could be doing other jobs that are equally as useful, like turning the handle that extends the ladder. Or plugging the hoses into the water supplies.
Oh, but then that's not equal, is it?
Well, it's not equal, but they can contribute.
Yeah, I know. Like same with ambulance crews, they are very good at ambulance crews. But if you have two women attend, and if it's a relatively large person, they can't always lift them up.
No, of course they can. They've got those special chairs.
I've witnessed it before. They can't carry them down the stairs. And then they've called out another crew in order to help them. So that takes another crew away from doing another job.
I do have a soft spot for ambulance ladies, though.
I do as well. I think they're very good. I'm not knocking that.
I think they're cute. The uniform's quite cute.
Yeah, I'm just saying the strength side of things. That's all I'm saying. Other than that, they are very good at their job. I can't knock that.
Who would you rather be tended to in the back of an ambulance hurtling through central London? A big, fat, sweaty bloke or a hot lady?
Yeah, well, you got to go for the hot lady. No problems there.
Exactly. Brian, thank you very much.
If I was stuck somewhere and I needed to be pulled out, then I'll be looking for that fat, sweaty bloke probably to help.
You see. Thank you, Brian. Let's go to the United States of America. Lisa. Hi, Lisa. Lisa Blanchard Paddington. Hi, I'm Lisa Blanchard Paddington.
Shut up.
My name's Lisa Blanchard Paddington.
You realize I'm calling because I want to cuss you out, right?
Yeah, that's right. That's right. This coming from a lady who thinks it's appropriate to post photos of herself at the Globe Theatre where she is actually blurry, but the rest of the photograph is in focus. You think that's acceptable behavior?
What the hell does that have to do with women flying?
Camel racing, anyone?
You're scared. I know you're scared. First of all, what is your scientific evidence that women can't control an airplane once we lose flight controls and you have to do fly-by-wire? I know that's a lot of technical terms for you.
For those people who may not have understood that, and I know you're throwing in the technical terms, Lisa, because you're trying to show off. And yes, of course, ladies are great at learning all of the technical terms. Of course you can. That's brilliant. Well done. Say it in English.
23 years in the aviation industry would help you do that.
Okay. Say it in English.
I would like to know what your scientific evidence is that women couldn't control an airplane.
What do you do in the aviation industry?
I do a lot of things, but answer the question. Stop avoiding it.
Is one of the things that you do...
I'm an aviation inspector.
Okay, so you're an inspector.
Uh-huh.
And I'm sure you're wonderful at that job.
And I was in the Air Force. I was a mechanic as well.
Okay.
Are you scared of women fixing planes as well?
No,
Because
not
you
at all.
might want to go off on
No,
that.
not at all. It's all technical. Girls are great technical stuff. Can I ask, did you fly planes?
I flew as an aircraft mechanic, yes. And I flew with all women flight crews as well.
No, that wasn't the question. Can you answer the question?
I can technically fly a helicopter, yes.
Okay. Well, helicopters, a piece of cake.
Oh, right,
I can fly a helicopter.
Not a difference at all.
Lisa,
crap.
Lisa, I could sit in a helicopter and within 20 minutes have worked out how to fly it.
So you
okay?
still haven't answered the question. What is the
You
scientific evidence that a woman cannot control an airplane?
You haven't answered the question.
Yeah, I have.
Did you? You haven't.
Yeah.
Did you fly aeroplanes? Not I flew on airplanes because
No,
in that case
did not technically fly as a pilot, but I can back up any BS answer you have for me. I can back up with 5 or 10 facts.
Why did
tell
you not?
me where your scientific evidence is.
Why did you not fly an aeroplane?
What's that?
Why did you not fly an aeroplane?
Well, when I was in the Air Force, I was enlisted, and enlisted people cannot fly as pilots. Officers are only allowed to fly.
Okay. So you can't fly an airplane?
No.
Okay, well, that's interesting. But you can fly a helicopter,
Mm-hmm.
which is easy. It's just you turn the key, you flick a few switches, up, down, that's fine.
Right.
Because you're going from a vertical takeoff, which is much easier than a runway takeoff. Isn't it?
Honestly, to be fair,
isn't it?
Flying a helicopter is much harder than flying an airplane.
Lisa!
I have been told.
Lisa!
I have been told endlessly by pilots of fixed-wing aircraft that is the fact.
Let's address
comment about women can't fly
address the point.
Airplanes.
You have been you have no actual evidence yourself that
But
flying
you don't have any scientific evidence.
We'll address.
Do you know when the first woman licensed pilot was?
Oh, it was like 1923 or something.
1911.
Well, I was out by 12 years. You have no personal...
In 1944, Baumgartner flew a test flight of 350 miles per hour at 35,000 feet. So are you saying that, she's not allowed to do that because she's a woman?
I'm saying that those planes were a lot lighter and easier to control. Let me finish the sentence, Lisa.
Actually, they were heavier back then because now we use composite on aircraft, so they're lighter.
Can I finish the sentence?
Huh?
Can I finish the sentence?
No. I'm American. Are you kidding me?
Well, exactly. Those planes were a lot lighter and easier to fly than 747s.
Also, I'd like to...
No, Lisa, no.
I'd like to ask the firefighter guy that if I was a firefighter, I would wear a T-shirt that says, don't let a woman save my life.
Can you hear me? Can you hear me?
No.
Okay, well, you need to be able to hear me because you're coming across as quite rude. I'm coming across... I'm coming across as being fairly decent and fair in this argument.
Really?
You're coming across as quite
Iain
rude.
Lee being decent and fair.
Thank you.
Okay.
You're coming across as quite rude and not listening to any of my answers.
Did you really haven't answered? You said in the beginning you had scientific evidence.
Do you want to have a conversation, or do you just want to talk at me in your, and I'm not being offensive here, slightly annoying American whine?
Right. Or should I put on an accent so that it'll be even more annoying?
As I said earlier, and I don't think you can dispute, that the lady you mentioned who flew the test plane at whenever that was, 1943 or whatever.
44.
Those planes are faster and lighter than the modern 747.
No, they're not.
They're lighter than the 747.
I can debate that with you.
Okay, can you show me the facts you've got for that, Lisa?
Well, okay, I'll show you the facts when you give me the scientific evidence that you quoted.
You can't just say I give you information and you go, no, that's not true.
Stumbling.
You can't do that. I'm not stumbling, Lisa. The plane that lady. Okay, let's look this up. What was the name of the plane that lady flew?
I don't know the name of the plane, but her name is Anne Baumgartner. Do you want to spell B-A-U-M?
No, Lisa, I don't. Because I'm not being funny. I've put my feet up on the desk. That's how relaxed I am in this conversation.
All right. Do you also know that women took over aerial refueling back in World War II? And they did all of the refueling of these fighter planes.
You've come on and you've spouted hearsay.
Fact.
Hearsay wouldn't stand up in a... Hearsay wouldn't stand up in a court of law, Lisa.
You haven't spouted a fact out yet, but I have.
Well, you don't know what I've spouted out because you've not been listening. You've been constantly talking over me and
blah,
shouting
blah,
at me and blah, blah, blah. Listen, Lisa, if that's the best you can do, then no wonder your country's about to go under. No wonder. No wonder you've lost a AAA rating. No wonder.
No, it's because we have poor government and excessive spenders.
Where's your husband?
Pay too much money for airplanes.
Where's your husband?
He's at work. He's on his way home.
Does he ever go out with you? Because you always seem to be on your own when you're out.
Well, he was mad that he missed last night.
Lisa, for those who don't know, I've come across Lisa a couple of times. Did you come to the Recorder Quartet as well?
Yes, I did.
And you were at the Set the Agenda last night.
Uh-huh.
But you kind of come on your own, and you I don't know if I should say this on the radio. You were chatting up a young man, the photographer.
Whatever.
You were chatting up Pez.
I was pointing out pictures he could take. He was a photographer.
I bet you were.
Whatever.
Did you enjoy last night?
It was very fun.
It was good,
I made a friend, and then I'll be there on Friday as well.
Are you coming Friday?
Yes, I am.
Okay. The Nun was supposed to do 10 minutes. She did 40
minutes. The Nun
minutes.
was excellent.
The Nun was
It didn't
great.
matter that it took that long. It was a hilarious show.
A load of people missed their trains because of the Nun.
I didn't. I made it just in time.
Well, that's okay then. Well, Lisa, listen, I'm glad you've admitted that you're wrong on this subject, and it's lovely to talk to you.
I admitted that you're wrong. It was good that you had the advert right before I came on about owning up to mental health problems, because you really should check that out.
Thank you very much, Lisa. Very nice to talk to you. There we go. One of our American cousins there, talking out of what I believe they call over there her ass. Or they might even call it her fanny. That's not rude. That's what they call an ass in America. I couldn't believe that the first time I heard that. I was absolutely shocked. Shake my what? 0330 123 1215. Lara, we'll come to you after this. Natalie Joan Lonsborough sent me a very angry email. You are a sexist idiot. It is sexist, and you should be banned from being on the air. Go have some sex. Sounds like you need some. I had some last night. You're all penis, boobs, etc., but I doubt you ever get any, you pathetic human being. But you're still listening, aren't you, Natalie?
Absolute Radio is our name.
Absolute Radio.
Mom, you know Pythagoras' theorem? No. How does it go again?
Call 0845 600 8080. Do more, be more.
I'm switching you off. You are ridiculously biased and bigoted about the ability of women to fly planes. I have a master's degree in engineering and worked as a systems engineer on satellites for the European Space Agency. Did you fly planes? It is you, Ratties, shouting down Lisa, the aeronautical inspector, not she. Replay the programme and try listening to a woman. You are wrong and very crude. From Ros Dean in Sevenoaks.
Iain Lee's 2-hour-long late-night radio show starting at 11 every Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday and Thursday.
0330 123 1215. Lara, Caddick, Howell, with you after this. Thomas, the 19-year-old politics student, has been in touch. Just got in. Would you like me to phone me tonight, or shall we wait for another night? People on your Facebook all seem to think I hate the show, which isn't the case at all. I thought I made my points very clear. I would still be up for a chat, even if the chat would be in your arena in Radioland, where you're clearly more comfortable than me, because you've never been in radio in the entire life. Oh, that's the wrong button there. Well, obviously not that comfortable. I don't have to work the bloody thing. So, I mean, listen, if you want to come on, come on. If you don't want to come on, you know, whatever. This is where it's going to be. I'm not going to come round to your house and sit in your mum's living room or something in an environment where you'll be more comfortable, OK? If you want to come on, come on. If not, you know, that's the last time I'm going to reply to your emails. Lara was on hold for a while, then dropped off. Hello, Lara.
Good evening, Ian. How are you doing?
Oh, sorry, I was expecting a lady. Good evening, Lara.
Thank you so much.
No, it's all right. You've got a very lovely voice. What can I do for you?
No, unsuitable jobs for women.
Yeah, go on.
Well, I'm kind of, you know, you've kind of done that one a bit to death as far as unsuitable jobs for women are concerned, and I'm not gonna jump on some political social.
You'd admit that some jobs are unsuitable for women, aren't they?
Well, only in the same way that some people would disagree that some people would agree that men shouldn't be midwives.
Yeah, I can see that. There are some jobs that are inappropriate for sexes to do.
And this is my question to
Yes,
you,
yeah.
as opposed to playing and feeding your kind of feeding your thought stream on what you were going on originally.
Yes.
So what's an
feeding my thought stream? I like that. That's a great phrase. Yeah.
So unsuitable jobs for men. What are they? What would you call them? And why?
Unsuitable jobs for men. I could see how male midwives could be inappropriate. As I think there should be.
But why?
Okay, why? Because I think there should be a degree of empathy in a job that's connected with something that's so emotional and so personal.
And what makes you think that a man can be less empathic than a woman?
To do with giving birth?
Yes, absolutely.
I think I've just given you the answer, love.
No, absolutely not. Because male GPs are quite often more sympathetic because they don't understand how it feels.
Didn't mention sympathy at all. I mentioned empathy.
No, I know. I'm trying to illustrate the point.
And you're illustrating it very badly.
Okay,
said no. Let's focus on this. I said empathy. You said sympathy. Completely different things.
Yes, I appreciate that. And I was actually
We're not talking about doctors. We're talking about midwives, which is completely different from doctors. They do a completely different job to doctors.
I was leading to a point.
Okay, but you'd admit that midwives do a completely different job to doctors, wouldn't you?
They're still working in a medical profession.
Oh God! So does the bloke in the local chemist. What does he know about anything? Have you had children?
Yes.
Okay, so you would know then, because you've had contact with midwives, that they do a very different job to doctors. That's a fact.
Right. I'm going with your thought stream, as it were.
Well, no, don't go with it.
No, I'm going with it. I'm turning the tables, and so I want to know what you think about unsuitable jobs for men.
Well, I've just told you, love. Listen.
No, you didn't. I gave you an example.
No, Listen, you've come on with a cob on, and I'm answering your questions, and
No,
you're being
I haven't
dick.
at all.
You have. You've asked me.
I'm
why.
playing devil's advocate.
Well, you're not. You're playing it very, very badly. You have asked me why do I think that male midwives are inappropriate, and I've told you.
No. I said, what would you say unsuitable jobs for men are?
No, you didn't. You did say that, but you also said why are male midwives inappropriate? You asked me that question. I told you that. I gave you the answer. And
my
you
main
point,
my main question was...
I didn't know you had a main question and a secondary question. Sorry. You asked me a question and I answered it. You
no,
asked me why male
the first thing was unsuitable jobs for men.
You asked me why male I can't even say it, with midwives are inappropriate, and I told you.
Well, no, you're not really, because...
Well, yes, I have. They don't have the same... They can't... How can a man...
That's okay.
Let's answer this question.
To that end, what about women that haven't had children? How do they make good midwives?
One thing at a time. How can a man have the empathy of someone who's going through childbirth?
How can a childless woman do the same?
We'll address that in a second. Let's address one thing at a time. How can a man have any empathy, any significant empathy, with a woman who is going through childbirth? How is that possible? You tell me.
I'm wanting to follow this through.
Exactly, that's why I'm asking you a question. I'm asking you a question which hopefully will follow this through. So answer that question, please.
I'm trying to get to that point. If you follow the stream through, what I'm trying to say is the fact that if a man can't have empathy in that situation...
Please don't say the thing about a childless midwife. We're going to get to that point in a minute.
Why is that?
Because we're going to get to that point in a minute.
It's like...
We're going to get to that point in a minute, Lara.
No, I keep trying to say that.
Let's work through this logically.
So answer the original question.
No,
I said, what are unsuitable jobs
Jesus,
for men?
You're so irritating. We're picking on one question. Okay, we've picked on one job, okay? I know you're laughing because you think you're being clever.
No, not at all.
You're actually being really irritating and quite stupid and coming across very, very badly. We have picked a job that men are inappropriate for, being a midwife, okay? Answer this question.
Are you being deliberately argumentative or insulting?
Answer this. No, you're being completely stupid. That's why it's coming across as insulting, because you haven't got the intelligence to follow this conversation through.
No, I'm actually choosing to try and pursue it in a way that you're refusing to answer.
Exactly. We are picking one job that is inappropriate for men. Male midwives, the one you suggested. Excellent suggestion. We'll get to your point about childless midwives, female midwives in a second. That comes after this point, okay? How can a man have empathy with a woman going through childbirth? Significant empathy with a woman going through childbirth.
How do you describe significant, though? This is what I'm trying to understand.
Well,
how can you possibly have degrees of significance in this situation?
Well, of course you can. I can be empathetic to a woman going through childbirth. Of course I can, because I can imagine pain, I can imagine fear, I can imagine
So surely
loneliness.
that's
Lara, are you going to let me
delivering
finish?
empathy.
Are you going to let me finish a sentence, Lara?
Not really, no.
Well, then
because
I'm
you're
going
not-
to say
you're-
goodnight to you then, Lara. If you're not going to have a conversation, then I'm going to let you go, love. Because, hello? Just put the phone down. She put the phone down.
I'd like to answer.
Please do, Eloise.
So your question about the male thingy,
Yes.
can they have empathy? No.
Not significant empathy.
No,
Yeah.
because they can't. It's impossible for them to go through it themselves.
Exactly. And of course they can have some empathy. They can feel fear. They can empathise with loneliness. They can empathise with the terror of the unknown, with pain. But they cannot empathise with having I cannot empathise, even though I stood next to my wife when she gave birth to my son, I cannot empathise with her having a living thing in her belly, coming out through her body, and at any moment, both of them could die. Any moment, something could go wrong, and the baby could die, she could die. I can be there for her.
The feeling of nurturing it in you.
Exactly. And I'm very jealous of that. I'm really jealous of that.
And your next question about... her next question would have been...
What about childless? Well, I'm afraid she didn't... Barry, are you there? Oh, he's phoning in there. Barry, you're on two lines.
Sorry, I had a phone call on the other line.
Listen to you, Mr. Media. But then Lara just disappeared. What was the point? That was really disappointing. I'm so happy to have a conversation about this, but...
Yes.
You know, she just came on to have a pop and wasn't prepared to listen, which isn't not the rules of engagement.
No.
19.
No. Listen, Ian, a man doesn't have to have empathy. He'll be a trained medical person. He doesn't have to be doing the deep breaths and the TENS machine. He will know what to
TENS
do.
machine? What do you know about? They didn't have TENS machines when your Dave was born.
No, you just got a clip round here. Don't shut up. There are certain jobs that men can do and ladies can't. And there was the American lady who was on earlier wanted to know the proof that a woman couldn't fly a plane. I've got it right here.
Okay, go on.
Time magazine, 1987.
Yeah.
Headline, Why Ladies Can't Fly Planes. Here's another one. New Scientist, May 1983. Ladies, get off the flight deck. June 1991. This was in Exchange and Mark. And it said, ladies, sit down and shut up. And this is the conclusive proof. When you get on a plane, you want a nice, comforting, hopefully posh, smooth, velvety male voice to say, ladies and gentlemen, don't worry about flying. You don't want some hysterical bint going, I hope we get to Mallorca. I mean, I've been very frightened about flying since the war. Not the actual war. I saw Saving Private Ryan on a flight to Bangkok. But, it does make... And I do like a gentleman's voice. And as for a gentleman delivering a baby, would you want a man, possibly with tattoos, fiddling around near your wife's doodah? No, you would not.
I would not want that in the slightest.
Docking out a cigarette, maybe smoking a pipe, doing the pools at the... you want a lady, they understand how the belly button works and all that sort of thing.
Ladies have got vaginas.
What, sorry? Not on the... Only in the NHS. They have them taken out via the belly button on Bupa, don't they? They don't go down mucky down there. Oh, no, heaven forbid. So I hope I've cleared up something. Have I contributed in any way to this discussion? So, ladies, button up, treacle, stick the kettle on, make us all a nice cup of tea. That's it. Night all. Ta-da.
Oh, I can't breathe. Thomas has emailed in his phone number, so we're going to give him a little call. He sent me a couple of stroppy emails. So let's just see what he has to say for himself. 6. I'm having fun tonight. Maybe not the best show to invite all the Ian Collins listeners to join in, but I'm having fun.
Who are you ringing?
Tommy.
Hello.
Hello, Thomas.
Hello.
Yes, you're live on the radio, so what's your language?
I'm not going to swear.
Okay, excellent. Right, what can I do for you?
Okay. You rang me, so what would you like to talk about?
No, don't start getting clever.
My point
Don't
was
start
in
getting
argument.
clever. Okay.
I'm not trying to be clever.
Well, don't do that. You rang me. What do you want to talk about? That's
okay.
You're starting off on a very bad foot there, young man.
In arguments, you tend to belittle people that aren't as articulate as you and aren't used to the radio waves.
The radio waves is irrelevant. Being used to the radio waves is
no,
irrelevant.
Of course it's not relevant. No, of course it's not relevant. People aren't familiar with the medium.
You've just said it's not
as you.
relevant. You've just agreed with me. You said it's not relevant. Right.
Well, no,
the thing is, your
email.
Well, you did. If you listen back, you said it's not relevant. Right.
No, I didn't.
Ian, let's read out your email.
Yep.
Is there any reason you only spelt incorrectly, to argue with people that
Hang on. Okay, I'm sorry. It's called a typing error. Many people.
Is there any reason you only choose? It's just that when I send emails, I spell check it. Without using the
I was
computer.
in a rush. I had other stuff to do.
Well,
okay.
when I have to contact people, I make sure I have the time that it deserves. Is there any reason you only choose to argue with people that aren't as confident as you?
Yeah.
These are the people that phone up, Thomas. They've
Well,
obviously got
okay.
they've obviously got the confidence to phone in.
Well, no, I just haven't got the money to phone in. It's nothing to do with the confidence.
I wasn't talking about you, Thomas.
Okay.
I'm talking about the people that I argue with. They have the confidence to phone in. I don't know how confident they are.
Yeah, I know, but you pick out, say, if they say a word wrong, or if they don't quite get their point across because they're not as articulate as you.
That's not what you said, Thomas. That's not what you said.
You
have.
Well, it is.
No, we're doing one sentence at a time of your email, young man. Okay.
Okay.
You were not talking about.
I do think you're quite good at this, by the way.
I'm excellent.
It's not a criticism.
I'm excellent.
Okay.
At it. We're not talking about articulation. In your third sentence, you say confident. Okay.
Yep.
I
agree. Yeah.
They've got the confidence to phone in.
Okay. Well, they don't have the confidence.
So you agree that you're wrong on there, okay?
No, I don't.
I don't only choose to argue with people that aren't as confident as me. That's an incorrect statement.
Okay, well, that's how it comes across.
How?
Well,
if the people have got the confidence to phone in, then what do you want me to do? Go, oh, hang on.
Okay,
On a scale of 1 to 10, how confident are you so I know whether to argue or not?
The way you treat people that aren't as confident as you.
No.
I know it's all a show and none of it's real and stuff. I get that.
Tommy.
But it still doesn't give you an excuse to be rude to your caller.
Tommy, we're doing it one sentence at a time.
Yeah.
The sentence is there any reason you only choose to argue with people that aren't as confident as you? That's not true. You seem to just bully people. The bravado is getting boring. Your points are incredibly badly made, and you seem to just cut people off who disagree with you. Okay.
Yeah.
I don't just bully people.
Tonight...
I don't just bully people. The points are factually and strongly made, and I don't just cut people off who disagree with me. If you've ever listened to the show more than once...
Well, I know, I've listened to the show for a long time. I'm aware of what this show...
Then you will know that people get more of a say on this show than any other phone-in show in the country.
No, but you kind of trick them into saying things they don't want to say. So if someone makes a point and then they accidentally contradict themselves, just not out of what they're saying, just that they're not that articulate, you kind of make a point of that. And
yeah,
I don't know. I don't think that's very fair.
If someone contradicts themselves, yes, Tommy, I make a point of that.
If they accidentally trip up on their words.
If you're going to have an argument or a discussion...
I don't fill out my depth with you. I'm one of the only callers who probably doesn't, but I don't. So.
Well, what's that got to do with what I just said?
Well, I'm just saying. you're not going to be able to kind of intimidate me.
I'm not going to intimidate you, Tommy.
No, I'm just saying it's not really going to work.
What I'd like from you, and you're only young, what I'd like from you is some manners.
I don't quite understand why my age is relevant.
Because you haven't learned how to.
I'm over 18.
You haven't learned how to have a conversation. You're over 18 by years, but you're much younger than that mentally. You haven't learned how to have a conversation and how to listen to what's being said. That's the key thing. Actually listen to what's being said.
I can listen.
I do not cut people off who disagree with me. At some point in the life of a phone call on a phone-in show, that phone call has to end because of music, because of ads, because they're getting boring and it's an entertainment show, for all different kinds of reasons. I never cut people off just because they disagree with me.
Well, I think you do that. Also,
well, you're wrong. No. Let's do this one at a time.
I'm not wrong.
Well, Tommy, you are wrong because I never. You are so wrong because I never cut people off just because they disagree with me. You're on the air now. You've been on the air for 5 minutes.
Yeah.
And you're disagreeing with me. I've not cut you off. We had the American lady on who disagreed with me.
I wasn't listening
didn't.
tonight. I was busy. But yeah.
There you go. We had an American lady who was on for about 10 minutes who I didn't agree with. I didn't cut her off. Lara phoned up. I didn't disagree with her. She hung up. So that's factually incorrect.
To any of those, so
well, that's irrelevant, Tommy, because that is factually, and that's actually, I don't get very angry, but that has actually got me angry, because what you're saying is a lie.
No,
what you're saying...
I don't think it is a lie. I've heard
what
you
you're
do that.
saying...
You can say...
What you're saying...
Don't talk over me. No,
what
this is
you're
one of your
saying
tactics.
is a lie. Tommy, what you're saying is a lie.
I don't agree. It's not a lie. And you do this thing of talking over people, and it makes your point more important than someone else's, which isn't how life works, I'm afraid. So
hang on. I've got a 19-year-old telling me how life works?
Yeah, I know. It's amazing, isn't it?
How have you lived, Tommy? Tell me about your life. Tell me what your life.
19-year-old. My life is absolutely not relevant to you.
You're telling me how life. You're telling me how life works, Tommy. So I'm guessing you've got some. I'm guessing you've got some amazing experience that's happened to you.
Is this like when you ask people how much they earn, because that kind of is relevant to a point?
The only time I ask people how much they earn is when they bring up.
That's very rude.
The only time I ask people how much they earn, Tommy, is when they bring up money. I never bring that up myself. I am in an incredibly fortunate position that I'm very, very comfortable, and I'm very, very happy, and I'm very, very lucky. I am very, very lucky. I never bring up how much I earn unless people address that themselves.
I don't think it's something you should talk about in an argument personally.
Why?
But
if someone brings it up, Tommy, if someone brings it up, this is a conversation. The conversation isn't set down by various points. You follow it through. It's like a stream.
You're teaching me so many things tonight.
I don't like your attitude. I think you've got quite a nasty, sarcastic. You've got a nasty, sarcastic attitude. If people bring up money, Tommy, it would be rude of me not to address that situation, wouldn't it?
No, people have been having conversations with you about your job, and they've criticised you, and you've brought up money as a kind of
have you got the evidence of that, please?
Mechanism.
Have you got the evidence of that, please?
Well, I've heard it on your radio.
Can you give me a quote, because I don't think that's true.
It was around the Tommy Boyd kind of time. There was a few people who rang after Tommy Boyd.
Okay, can you give me the quotes? Can you give me the quotes? Because I think you're saying it out of context. I think you're speaking out of context.
Of course I can't give you the quote.
Okay, let's go to the main sentence in your email. The final sentence in the first email. Oh, and calling 15-year-old girls slags is frankly disgusting.
Yes.
What do you have to say about that?
Yeah. Okay, dressed as slags and slags are pretty similar, aren't they?
They're not.
Similar.
This is where I know where I know that all of your evidence is based on misquotations and mishearing. Because you've said it is.
If you say something, it suddenly makes it true.
Tommy, listen. This is the thing. This is a misquotation. Calling 15-year-old girls slags is frankly disgusting. I never in that show, called 15-year-old girls slags. I never did that.
I know you said dress
thank you. I never called 15-year-old girls slags. What did I say?
You said dress like slags, but...
Correct, thank you.
You also said
big difference,
else, but...
Big difference, buddy.
Okay.
Big difference.
Listen back to the podcast.
You can do. You're more than welcome to. I won't. But, because I know exactly what I said. I said that I saw some 15-year-old girls dressed as slags. I did not call them slags. There is a huge...
Can we talk about the entertainment element?
Well, no, we're going to move on. We're not going to move on just because you've lost that bit.
Well,
you have to admit...
It's not really going anywhere, is it?
It's not, Tommy, no, because you're
saying
struggling.
You're right, me saying I'm right. No, I'm not struggling at all.
Tommy, listen, this is the thing, because we are late for the adverts, and I'm going to let you go in a minute, because A, you're boring, and B, you've got a horrible sarcastic attitude.
Okay, what a surprise, yeah.
You've been on for 9 minutes, which is quite a long time. You'd admit that's a long time? No, of course you wouldn't.
Well, I admit that you feel out of your depth compared to most of your callers, yes. I understand that.
Okay, listen, I'll tell you what. Fine. No, stay there. I'll play the adverts. We'll come back to you in a minute.
This is Absolute Radio. Absolute Radio. You don't say. I had no idea. Well, I did have an idea that text to Absolute Radio will cost you 50p, plus your standard network rate.
Looking for the perfect present from around £30? DAB Digital Radio. It's what your ears were made for. Find out more and check your coverage at lovemyradio.co.uk.
Iain Lee on Absolute Radio.
Okay, you would have to admit, wouldn't you, that there is a huge difference between calling someone a slag and saying someone is dressed like a slag.
But I still think saying 15-year-old dress like slag is still a pretty out of order thing to say.
That's your opinion, even though they were dressed like slags?
Well, what do you mean dressed like what? They were dressed like prostitutes. Is that what you mean by slags?
They were dressed like slags.
Okay, well, I still think that's quite an offensive thing to say.
Why?
Well, as a 19-year-old, if I saw a 15-year-old,
yep,
I just wouldn't use that. With different people, I wouldn't say a 15-year-old was dressed like a slag.
Okay, well, that's a difference of opinion. But we've agreed that calling them slags and saying they're dressed as slags is a completely different thing.
Well, no, obviously they're different.
Okay, it's just that was the criticism. That was the criticism in your email. Okay, what's your next point?
This point about if it's a show, you can say whatever you like to the callers. You can call them dicks.
Never
said
that.
Idiots.
Never said that.
Well, it's definitely the implication.
When have I implied that?
You talk about whenever people get het up about the show, you talk about it being a show.
Correct. It is a show. Yeah. Correct.
For entertainment, but I don't think it's particularly entertaining hearing you belittle callers and calling people dicks and calling people idiots because they disagree with you. Personally, that's just how I feel, I guess.
Okay, not necessarily. A show doesn't necessarily have to be entertaining.
Well, it's not doing a very good job if it's not entertaining.
Well, no, it is a show. A show doesn't necessarily have to be entertaining. A show can just be an act.
To be successful, it does, surely.
Not in the slightest, no.
And
success is relative.
Give an example of a show that is entertaining, but is successful but not entertaining.
Have you ever seen anything by the Worcester Group?
I don't know who the Worcester Group are.
I suggest you check them out because a lot of their stuff, experimental.
But surely,
I'm giving you an example.
I don't know who they are.
I'm giving you an example.
So if they're not that successful,
you just asked me.
I don't even know who they are.
I'm giving you an example. The Worcester Group.
Not that successful.
Tommy, listen, I've given you plenty of time, mate, and I'm really doing my best to have a grown-up conversation with you.
Yeah.
And your behaviour and your sarcasm, it might be acceptable in a politics lesson, but when you're having a grown-up conversation, mate, it's not. Listen, I've got one suggestion. If you don't like what we do,
I do like what you do. I just don't like it when you go overboard on the arguments, and lots of callers feel the same. So I don't know why you're trying to make out. Look on your Facebook.
You can't speak for other people. You're not allowed to do that, I'm afraid. You can't.
Well,
there
are other people that
well, that's
feel the
great.
same.
Let them get in touch with me, okay? You can't do that. We're talking about
just
Tommy.
Constructive criticism, Ian.
It's not.
Oh,
I can take it. It's just not constructive. It's what I like.
Of course, it's constructive. I said that I like the show, and I think you're a good broadcaster.
No, that doesn't make it constructive. Saying you like my show. Saying you like my show, and then no, it doesn't. It doesn't.
And then I criticise a little part of the
saying that's not how constructive criticism works. By saying,
of course, that's how constructive criticism works.
It's not saying I like the show, but that's not constructive. That's.
I know you think because I'm 19, you're vastly more intelligent than me, and you can tell me how things work.
Not intelligent. I'm much more experienced than you.
Okay.
And that's a fact, and you'd have to accept that.
Well, only in terms of that you've lived longer.
Thank you very much, and what a life I've had. Have you got a son?
I'm sure you've had a.
Have you got a son?
Life. Well, no, it'd be a bit odd if I did have a son.
Okay.
And it's broken Britain.
So you haven't got a son. Have you got a mother who's incredibly ill and you've had to change her? No.
No.
Have you spent 3 months?
Have you spent on in my life?
Have you
spent? We're going to play this game.
Let's play this game.
Well, it's a ridiculous game. I've been through a lot myself, but I don't really want to go into that.
At the age of 19, Tommy, you've not had the experience in life that I've had, and that's a fact.
But I've lost loved ones and stuff. It's not.
It's terrible, isn't it?
That only happens to.
I've not mentioned losing loved ones, and that's very sad that that's happened. That's very sad that that's happened, and you will have learnt from that, won't you? Of course you will. Of course you will, because that's what life experiences are. A lot of the most painful ones are the ones we learn the most from.
Yes.
Tommy, listen, it's great talking to you. Bit sarcastic. Okay. Take your foot off the sarcasm. No, listen. Listen, I'm giving you some really good tips here, and this will help you.
Okay.
And this will help you in your politics lessons. Take your foot off the sarcasm, learn to button it a little bit, and just listen and respond to what the person has said to you instead of just thinking of your next answer while they're talking. All right?
Okay.
Good night, Tommy. Take care. Bye-bye.
I'll call again. Bye.
Verinda, Howell, Caddick and Jonathan. Speak to you after this. Queen, Gordon's alive.
Yeah, this is S.
Yes, Vinny, what can I do for you?
Yeah, just wanted to say that I've been calling in for the last 5 years, and you have been bullying me.
I've been bullying you, yes.
Yes. Also, that's okay then, is it?
Yeah, that's okay. That's okay. You're basically the kind of the conduit where we can all sort of take our frustrations out on and put them on you.
You've been like mildly racist towards me.
Oh, I would say it's a bit more than mildly.
Okay. You questioned my sexuality many times.
many times.
Despite me telling you many times.
Okay, so should we get this once and for all? You are a lesbian.
I'm straight.
A straight woman, okay. Eloise, shall I do this or should you? Huh?
You can if you want
to.
to.
Okay, Vinny, could you stay there one moment, madam? Let's go to line 6. Hello, line 6. Who's this?
Hello, Ian. Hello, it's Jay. How you doing?
Hello, Jay. What can I do for you?
Hello, my friend. Just wanted to phone in on. I loved the chat between you and Tommy.
We can't do that right now, I'm afraid.
Wait for that line.
There we go. It's there. Hang on a second. Line 6, you're on the air. What can I do for you? Line 6. 5, 4. Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can.
Who's this?
It's Aisha Rasul.
Yo, Aisha, what can I do for you?
I want to win Smouse tickets.
Why should we... Yeah, can I check how old you are, please, Aisha?
Yeah, I'm 20 years old.
You sound about 12!
No way!
Eloise just shouted in my ear. Is she over 18? Is she over 18? Why should we give you the tickets?
Because I flipping well love Smouse so much, and I would kill to go to his gig.
Okay, you've won the tickets.
Oh my God, that's amazing! I'm so happy.
Now, listen, you've won the pair of tickets. I'm going to put you over to Eloise and give you the details. Listen, there is a chance that you may not get in even with the tickets, okay? Because the whole thing is oversubscribed. Eloise will have a little chitty chat to you. Let us know what happens, and if you don't get in, we'll sort something else out for you, I promise.
That is absolutely wicked.
But
that's amazing.
If you follow Eloise's simple instructions, it should be all right.
Yep, that's cool.
Well done. Stay on the line. Eloise, I'll have a quick chitty chat with you. Vinny, have we finished with you yet?
No.
Yeah, we have. Okay, let's go to Hal. Hello, Hal.
Hey, how you doing?
By the way, that's it. The tickets is given away now. We have no more S.Mouse tickets, okay? So that's it. Hal.
Okay, well, that's fine. I wasn't after the tickets.
Good for you.
No, I was phoning in. I've got experience of flying. I've got a pilot's license.
Okay.
And I've worked on building sites as a driver in a scaffolding firm.
Yeah.
So, yeah. No, I'll start off agreeing with you because that'll be easier.
Always easier.
No, with regard to building sites, I'd agree women don't really fit in that well on building sites. A little story I'll tell you. I remember I was working on a scaffold and this woman walked underneath and she wasn't. She worked for the firm that was doing the renovations of this housing estate, but she didn't want to wear a hard hat, I think, because she didn't want to mess up her hair.
Yeah.
And of course, one of the scaffolders accidentally dropped his spanner from the second lift, the second level, which isn't that high, it's only like 2 floors, or not even that, and it hit her on the head. It cut her a little bit of blood, nothing too bad.
Yeah.
She was a bit upset and all that. So anyway, that was a bit silly. So that's me agreeing with you.
Can I just say I've had an email from Bob Jones calling me the C word.
Oh dear.
Oh dear. I'm going to ask him to call in. Call in, Bob. Iain Lee, what a C word. Oh dear. That's rude, isn't it? Isn't that rude? Al?
Yeah, no, very rude, very rude. No, I'd never call you that.
No, bless you. Anyway, go on.
The other story I was going to tell you, I learned to fly. I've got a pilot's license, fixed wing. I didn't fly helicopters like your American Lisa lady.
Which is easy anyone can fly a helicopter.
She sort of technically knew how to fly a helicopter, which sounded like to me that she didn't have her wings, but she knew how to fly it.
Yeah.
But, I learned to fly, and I was taught by a woman. Get that.
Okay.
Captain Wilson, I don't know her first name. But she got a lot of stick over it.
Well, listen, women can fly. I'm not saying that they can't. They don't have the knowledge. Of course, they can fly. I'm just questioning whether it's right that they should be allowed to fly.
Okay. I didn't think of that angle, but I'll tell you a funny story.
Are you all right, Hal? Because you sound like you've got a cob on tonight.
No.
What's
cool,
wrong?
I'm cool.
I know you've been waiting for a while, but come on, I thought we were buddies.
Yeah, no, we are buddies. That's why I don't want to get in a row with you. But I don't know the answer to the question you've just clarified, which is should they be allowed to fly? Because there aren't many women pilots. I'm a lorry driver by trade, and there's very few women lorry drivers. I mean, in the time I've been driving, it's about 10 years, I've seen about 2 or 3 articulated lorry drivers, you know what I mean, towing a trailer. So there's not very many.
Yeah.
So that, I mean, in terms, and I taught for a bit as well. I've talked to you about primary school teaching before, and it's quite striking that kids, if you give them in a primary school setting, you give them, right, all go off and do what you want.
Yeah.
The girls go off to the dressing up corner, and their games involve a lot of talking and acting stuff out and relating to each other. And do you know what I mean? Their sort of talking, reading, and writing skills are much better than boys of the same age. Whereas boys will go off into the Meccano and the Lego corner and make stuff. Do you know what I mean? Because their physical spatial awareness is much better.
And that's innate. That's not, because we've been watching that with our boy, and that's not learned. That's there.
It's nature or nurtured. And I did a thesis on it when I did my teaching training.
Yeah.
A little essay. And but yeah, no, I mean, you can nurture it a little bit, but
yeah, of course
it's
you can.
nature. That was
we
my
were really
argument.
surprised to see our little boy follow the traditional gender roles that we had kind of sort of avoided a bit. We'd tried not to force them upon him, but naturally, that's where he's kind of he goes.
It can be reinforced, and you can try and fight it if you were a parent that particularly wanted him to be feminine, which I know you're not, but you could try and force it on him, but yeah, you'd be fighting nature. That's my view anyway. But I'll tell you a little story, funny story, because that's what I like to do mainly. But I was flying with this woman, pilot. She was teaching me to fly, flying instructor, and we were on this long, boring cross-country, which was part of getting the licence, and she was very petite, quite pretty, very slim, you know, sort of Kylie Minogue stamp. Have you ever met Kylie Minogue?
I've never met Kylie Minogue. Have you met Kylie Minogue?
I have, yeah. I had her in my taxi when I was taxing years ago. She's very, very petite.
She couldn't afford the fare, so she,
She gave me a £1 tip. It was an account job, but yeah, she's very, very petite. This flying instructor I had, Captain Wilson, I don't know her first name. We were flying along, and of course, because she was so petite, I was in the left seat, which is the pilot's seat. She's in the right seat next to me. And because she was very petite, she was sat right in the middle of her chair, and there's quite a lot of space either side of her chair, if you know what I mean.
Yeah.
Where she wasn't taking up the whole chair. And the throttles were in the middle, so my right hand would be on the throttles, and my left hand would be holding the steering column, which is like a go-kart control column. But of course, we were flying cross-country, so you don't need to keep changing the throttle, which is like the accelerator. So we're just flying straight and level. So my right hand, I didn't really know what to do with it, and I couldn't put it on. There was no space in the middle to rest it, and I couldn't put it on the edge of my seat because I was taking up my whole seat, and I couldn't quite get it comfortable, and I didn't want it on my lap. Yeah. And I noticed that there was lots of space on the edge of her seat because she was taking up so little of the seat. So I sort of rested my forearm on the edge of her seat. Yeah. And then something happened which made me put my hand on the throttle because we got in a bit of turbulence, so I adjusted the throttle. And then I put my arm back without looking because obviously I was looking out the window to see cockpit, to see where we're going. And of course we're wearing earphones, and she sort of said to me, and I wasn't looking at her, she said, I wouldn't do that to you. And I didn't quite catch on what she was saying.
Hello.
And I said, don't worry, it's not really bad. And I sort of I just ignored it at first because I didn't quite catch what she said because it was a very quiet period leading up to that. And then she said it again, I wouldn't do that to you. And I looked at her, eye contact, and I didn't look down. And I thought, oh, my God, this woman's just freaking out, you know, for no reason. She's now going to freak out, and we're at 2,000 feet or wherever we were at. And I thought, oh, my God, what am I going to do? And she said, I wouldn't do that to you. And I said, what do you mean? You know, and I just thought, what's wrong with this woman? She said, I wouldn't put my hand on your leg. And I looked down, and my hand was I was literally gripping her leg.
How?
You know
Listen,
what I mean?
I've got to go because I've only played 2 songs. That is, you filthy. Look, you can't try and pick up a captain in an aeroplane when she's giving you a flying lesson, for God's sakes.
This is Absolute Radio. Absolute Radio.
Welcome to Wales in
I got to say thank you to Matt from Morden, who sent me the most awesome Monkeys book. Look at this, fantastic. Look what I got sent, Eloise. I sent a Monkeys colouring book. You can't see it. It's a Monkeys colouring book. I'm so over the moon with this. He's coloured some of them in already. Matt, that's very kind of you, mate. Thank you very much. Genuinely very excited when I opened that. Made my day. We got Alan and we got Jonathan. Alan's probably asleep, I'd imagine. Alan! Yep, he's asleep. He tends to do that. Maybe he's on medication, I don't know. Jonathan, sorry to keep you waiting so long, mate. What can I do for you?
Hello. Yeah, I just want to say it's the 21st century, and if women can give birth and put up with as men and beings go to space, why shouldn't they be allowed to fly an aeroplane?
Well, they've been able to give birth for quite a while.
Yeah.
Yeah, so what's that got to do with anything?
Well, it's probably the most painful and the most thing ever.
It is the most thing ever, but what's that got to do with women flying planes? I don't understand.
Because if they can go through all that pain and whatever else, flying a plane will be easy, wouldn't it?
Well, no. Just because women can give birth, it doesn't make flying a plane easy. Is that your argument?
No.
That's the argument you just made, Jonathan.
No.
Would you like to take a step back and then step up to the argument again, but this time without talking out of your arse?
No. But basically...
I like you. You're good. You're not good, but I like you.
If they can go through all them different things through life...
Yeah.
Why shouldn't they be able to... Women have gone to space. Yeah. Surely that must be better than driving an aeroplane, or flying an aeroplane, driving an aeroplane.
Yeah, you're right. You win.
See?
You win.
Thanks.
You're
Hey.
Good argument, Jonathan. Thanks.
Thanks.
Cheers, mate.
All right, bye-bye.
Do call again. The next time I'm winning an argument, call again, Jonathan, and bring me down to earth a bit, please. Line 2, you're on the wireless.
Good afternoon.
Oh, God.
I think that Vinny should be made to live in an igloo and
right.
Paint the inside yellow.
Okay.
And creosote the outside regularly.
Can I ask you, why do you and Vinny hate each other so much?
Isn't it natural and logical and reasonable for everybody to hate Vinny?
Well, yes.
Isn't that his purpose in life?
You're right. That is, and but
the purpose of Vinny's existence is to provide a standard of comparison for the rest of us, so that we can look down on him in smug satisfaction and reassure ourselves of our normality and our superiority compared with him.
But not everyone then expresses that verbally towards Vinny. Whereas you, John, I'm what it feels like between you two is it's that kind of thing in the playground where if I fancied a girl, I wouldn't tell her I fancied her. I'd give her a dead arm. And it sounds like that you and Vinny have maybe got there's something a little bit deeper going on here.
I've got maybe it's a sort of love-hate relationship.
Yeah.
I hate him and he loves me because I'm so brilliant. He's desperate for some sort of emotional attachment to someone, so he's probably lashing out and thinking that he's in love with me or something.
John, lovely to talk to you as always. Line 4, you're on the wireless. Do you wanna be in my gang, my gang, my gang? You wanna be in my gang? I'm the leader, I'm the leader, I'm the leader. It's a good song. You know, whatever he's done, it's a bloody good song. Line 1, you're on the wireless.
Hello, it's Andy.
Hello, Andy.
Southend.
Yes, sir.
Hi. I wanted to have a little rant about your politician friend that was on earlier on.
Okay.
Now, he was saying about the fact that he didn't like some of your questionable entertainment content in your show.
Yes.
I don't like everything you do in your show.
Nor do I.
I find some of it amusing, some of it entertaining, some of it intriguing.
A lot of it's rubbish.
And there is a little bit.
Of course there is. Of course there is.
But on the whole, I find it entertaining, so I choose to listen.
Yeah.
So he's saying that loads of people don't like it.
Yeah.
Well, he can't speak for everybody else.
No.
He's only got his personal opinion.
Exactly.
But isn't that just a typical politician?
Do you know what?
Expressing their views on everybody else without the wish to be talked over.
Andy, you're right, actually, and he was answering questions like I do hate. Do you know what I hate about politicians, real politicians, right? Is we're on the radio and they've done something wrong, and say it's about education, right? And you'll say to Michael Gove, "Well, Mr. Gove, this whole policy about free schools isn't working." Well, when Labour were in power, no, don't, and the Labour do the same thing. Everyone does it. Well, when the Tories were in power, well, no. answer the question and address the things that you've done wrong.
Yeah. There's no one party, I think, that's any better than any other. They all try and win off everybody else's mistakes.
God. What I would love, and people say it would never work, but I think it would, is a politician, right, who answered the question, and when he was wrong or she was wrong, went, yeah, do you know what? I messed up there, but I reckon if I did this, it might make things a bit better. They don't. They're always, well, when Labour were in power, and I think you'll find the opposition have been... No, just sort it out!
Do you remember when you was at school and someone done something wrong and you went, well, actually, it wasn't me, it was that person that done something wrong, and started blaming someone else? The teacher went, you don't score any points for blaming somebody else in life.
Yeah.
But that's all they do. They blame other people and... avoid answering questions.
Andy, on those wise words, and they were wise words, you'd be a fool to say otherwise. We'll end the show. Thank you very much. That's it. We've given away the S.Mouse tickets. I have very little else to say, apart from I'm going to go and see E17 at some point this week, which I'm excited about. Thank you very much for listening. I know sometimes it can be hard work, so thank you for sitting through this. The new Iain Collins, ex-Iain Collins listeners, it's good to have you on board. We're here every Monday till Thursday, 11 till 1. You can download the podcasts, Best Bits, Full Show, Best of Barry, Shepherd's Pie from iTunes. Just type in Iain Lee, IAINLEE, or go to absoluteradio.co.uk/Iain Lee. Back tomorrow at 11. Polly's up next. Do stick around. Ta-ta. I know we're going. Oh, thanks, Eloise, as well. Good work.
Thanks.
She's got enough, she's got too much.